Hey, what it do, sports world, and welcome to the Real Untouchable podcast, man, with me, Ray Diggs. I got a great segment for you all. Man, I want to talk about NBA playoff today. Okay, we had some great games, man. We had some games came down to the end. Some games, they wasn't as close as the score may indicate, but hey, it was a really good Sunday of NBA basketball, NBA playoff basketball. Okay, but listen, before I get started, make sure y'all hit the like button, the subscribe button, and also the share button. And hey, make sure y'all go to the YouTube channel, man, and subscribe to the channel. Okay. But hey, let's go ahead and jump into this thing, man. It's the NBA playoff. Hey, we saw the New York Knicks, Philadelphia 76ers. We saw the Clippers, Mavs. We saw the Milwaukee Bucks, Indiana Pacers. And then for the nightcap, we ended up seeing Minnesota and the Phoenix Suns. The Suns were swept by the Timberwolves. Now, Philly, the Knicks ended up going into Philly and disrespected the 76ers. The Knicks fans pretty much disrespected the entire basketball of the Philadelphia 76ers, man. If y'all just watch the video outside, they was outside stepping on their flags and everything, man. It was totally disrespectful. But but we're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about the first game. Well, actually, that was the first game. The Knicks Sixers. The Knicks ended up winning the game 97-92. And it was all behind Jalen Brunson. And this right here what keep making me mad and madder because the Dallas Mavs let this kid go. But I mean, they got Kyrie Irving in the end, but you ended up letting go this dude. This dude had 47 points, pretty much dominating. Joel Embiid, I would blame Joel Embiid. Everybody know how I feel about Joel Embiid. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA. But today's game, he was the biggest reason why. 1 point in the fourth quarter, 5 fouls, and 7 turnovers. You cannot do that and think you're going to win a playoff game. And the crazy thing about it was, think about if he had more than 1 point, 5 turnovers, 5 fouls and 7 turnovers. They only lost the game by 5 points, 97-92. So if you don't do all of this craziness in the fourth quarter, you probably going to win the game. Let's be real. Okay? And like I said, a lot of players from the Sixers pretty much didn't show up. You had who else? You had basically Maxey had a pretty good game, 8 of 21, but it's not some. Kelly Oubre had an okay game, 19 points. But Tobias Harris, another trash game, 10 points. Man, the dude robbed the bank. Like I told y'all today on Facebook, the dude not only robbed the bank, he went inside the bank. He got the money. As he was leaving the bank, Tobias Harris, as he was leaving the bank with the bags of money, he got at the bank. He went and he took the money truck and he drove off in that as well. That tells you how bad this dude robbed the entire bank, okay, and took the money truck. Tobias Harris did. It ain't no way it ain't no other thing. It ain't no way around it. This dude has not played up to his contract or his potential since he got that big contract in Philadelphia. And that was another reason why the Sixers lost this game today. But when you look at McBride had, nice 13 points off the bench. But for the most part, it was pretty much Jalen Brunson, and he pretty much killed them. I mean, if you score 47, that's almost 50 points of the 90 points that they scored. Okay, so that just tells you what type of game Jalen Brunson had. He had a hell of a game. As they get ready to head back, I said last night, I said that Philly will win this game and tie the series, and then they'll go back to New York and probably ended up winning the game there and probably come back to Philly and end it. But it looked like New York might going to be looking to end the Philadelphia 76ers in their next game, which it won't surprise me because, like I said, this Philly team has been inconsistent all year. Embiid has been hurt. So I expect for this team right here, I expect for them to go down without a fight. Maybe Joel Embiid take it personal that the Knicks fans invaded Philadelphia, disrespecting them. You can at some points in the game, that's all you can hear was New York Knicks fans. That's crazy, huh? But anyway, maybe they get a little motivation and they go down there and steal one and then come back from Philly and try to tie this series up. But I expect for this series to probably be over with by Tuesday. Okay. And then in the second game, we had Milwaukee, Indiana. Milwaukee without Giannis Antetokounmpo and Dame Lillard. And the craziest thing you got now, this right here, what I don't understand, right? Now you without your 2 stars. Okay, now you know that y'all need everybody out there. And what's the first thing that Bobby Portis do? Bobby Portis get himself ejected out of a must-win game. They needed this game. And honestly, if they had Bobby Portis, because you got to think about it, they only lost by 13. At one point, they was down by like 5 points. So if you don't lose one of your best bench players, well, as a starter in Bobby Portis, then you probably steal this game, honestly. Knowing that your 2 stars is out of the game. Bobby Portis, you got to be smarter. And I'm not calling you dumb, but you got to be smarter in this situation. Because honestly, you cannot get yourself kicked out of this game right here, knowing that you all are already down. You're 2 big guns. You cannot do it. And I'm just being honest with you. But they ended up losing this game 126 to 113. And it was basically, it was basically the Indiana Pacers 3-point shooting. It basically was 3-point shooting. Nothing else you can really say. If you go out there and if any team go out there and hit 23s, you gonna most likely win the game. Okay. It ain't no if, and, buts about it. You can do everything else wrong. You ain't got to shoot. You can shoot 12, 18 from free throw. But if you hit 23s, you're going to most likely win the game. And like I said, the Milwaukee Bucks didn't make it hard for them, even though Middleton had 25 points. Bobby Portis went out in the first quarter. This dude played 7 minutes, okay? And when he played in his 7 minutes, he was 4 points, 3 rebounds. So Bobby Portis was looking at least probably maybe 20, maybe 18, 20 points. Okay, if he got 4 points in the first 7 minutes and he probably going to play 40 minutes, Bobby Portis probably would have scored 20 and probably grabbed another 12 rebounds. You're not going to tell me that 20 wouldn't have helped this Milwaukee Bucks team. I'm just saying. Because you basically get nothing, basically almost nothing from your bench. Okay? And then you get Beasley. That was Beasley that played for the Lakers last year. He played for the Lakers. When he played for the Lakers, this dude right here couldn't even buy a shot. Now he out here scoring 20, 8 for 12 for the Milwaukee Bucks. That just tell you, like, that's just like with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. People like, man, they could have kept Kentavious Caldwell-Pope's KCP. No, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope could not play anymore on that big stage. That's why he was missing so many shots. This dude right here, just like how he opened in Denver, he was open just like that with the Lakers, but he wasn't making the shots. Okay, because the pressure. It's a pressure of playing in LA. Okay, and just like Michael Beasley. And then you had Brook Lopez had a big game, 27 points, 9 rebounds. I thought he was going to end up leading them, but in the end, it was Halliburton. Halliburton it was pretty much their whole starting lineup. Okay, and then you get Obi Toppins. Obi Toppins had 13 points, so that's 13 bench points. But their starters pretty much dominated all the way down. Siakam, Miles Turner, all these dudes. Miles Turner had 29 and 9, but they starters pretty much gave them everything that they needed, and that's why this team is 1 game away from eliminating I'm just gonna say it. They was the favorite to at least get to the Eastern Conference Finals, which was the Milwaukee Bucks. They are 1 game away from eliminating the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round. Once a team that was once on a collision course with the Boston Celtics, okay, it's about to most likely go out in the first round of the playoff. And like I said, I'm gonna say the same thing when I talk about the Phoenix Suns as well. It was ownership. I blame the ownership because honestly, did you really need Dame Lillard? Did you really need him? You trade Dame Lillard to get defensive, to get offense. I mean, you trade for Dame Lillard because you needed offense, but you let defense go. And then when you look back at them, they was like the second or third team. They was like the second or third best record in the league when you end up firing Adrian Griffin, which that was a dumb move. And then all Doc Rivers has done all season that I've seen is criticize the players, criticize the team. This dude even criticized the equipment team. Okay, like just make that make sense. So that's why they're 1 game away from being eliminated from the playoff as they're down 3-1, getting ready to go back to Milwaukee. And I expect for them to fight hard. But I don't know. Without Dame Lillard, Giannis, I just don't know if this team right here can survive. They might steal game 5, but I think that Indiana will come back to Indiana and finish the series. Okay. And then another game, the Dallas Mavericks versus the Los Angeles Clippers. That was another game. And I'm looking at this game right here. I was looking at that game in the second quarter. And it was 39-16 in the first quarter. At one point, the Clippers was up by 31 points. I said, man, dude, man, the game's over with. Then Kyrie Irving started cooking. Kyrie Irving scored 40 points, but it was Luka Doncic that didn't show up. Okay, yeah, he had his regular, but Luka Doncic, I just feel like yeah, but he had 29 points, but he shot 10 for 24. Okay, he had 5 fouls. Okay, but it was just like it was like his points didn't matter. Then when you look at the bench, you look at the bench points. Okay, you got 20 points coming from the bench of the Clippers. You maybe had what 8, 13 coming from the Dallas Mavericks. And also, they got points from almost all their starters. You got 33 by James Harden. You got 33 from Paul George. And I said this last night. Zubac had 13. And I said this last night, if y'all remember, if you was on here watching, I said, man, this team right here has been playing real good without Kawhi Leonard. This team right here have won the 2 games that they won has been without Kawhi Leonard. Last game, they were stomped out with Kawhi Leonard. So I don't know. Maybe it's Kawhi Leonard. Maybe his injury is slowing this team down. I don't know. But I expect, and I watched Luka Doncic what he said today. He basically said, he is basically, not holding up his end of the bargain when it comes to him and Kyrie Irving. Basically, he letting them down. And honestly, we feel the same way, Luka. But I expect for this team right here to go to LA in game 5, and I expect for these 2 dudes to explode. That's just my opinion. And if they play without Kawhi Leonard, I got a feeling that this team right here will figure it out. And they're going to end up still in game 5 in LA. But like I said, Kawhi, he had something wrong with his knee, but I expect for him to be back maybe game 5 or 6. I just don't know. Maybe his injury is slowing them down. But hey, the LA Clippers won this game, a close one. After being up by 31 points, they ended up winning by 5, 116-111. And then the nightcap. The nightcap was the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Phoenix Suns. Listen, the Minnesota Timberwolves have swept Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker, and the Phoenix Suns. The Minnesota Timberwolves has swept this team in 4 games. Okay, Ant-Man, pretty much another dominant night, 40. He started off kind of slow. I was looking at it like, you know what, he might have a bad game today. And then the kid just picked it up, started dominating like he always do, looking like a young Michael Jordan out there, pretty much dunking on Kevin Durant, talking crazy to him, pretty much letting him know it's my time now. Your time has passed you. And I ain't gonna even lie, I was gonna bring the brooms out. I was gonna go and I was gonna bring my broom out on show tonight. But I'm gonna be honest with you, the broom don't clean up the entire mess. So guess what? I'm gonna bring out the vacuum cleaner. I'm bringing out the vacuum cleaner tonight for the Phoenix Suns. I got to get all this mess up. We got to get all that mess up of the Phoenix Suns because that's exactly what they are. They are nothing but mess. Okay? And I blame, and like I said last night, I blame the Phoenix Suns ownership because the Phoenix Suns ownership is who messed this team up. First of all, you got rid of Chris Paul, which was a true point guard. Then you go out there and you get an injury-prone Bradley Beal, who been injured his entire career. But you go out there and you get him. And what do? He basically missed almost most of the season, which we knew that he was going to most likely not be ready for the playoffs. And what did he do tonight? Because it wasn't Kevin Durant and them fault tonight. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker put up monster numbers. Okay, you got Kevin Durant finished with 33, 12 for 17, 9 rebounds, 4 blocks. He even was good on the defensive end. I got to give it up to Kevin Durant. I ain't going to even talk bad about him because at the end of the day, he deserved better. But you got Devin Booker. Devin Booker had almost 50. He had 49 points. But then when you look at Bradley Beal, he was 4 for 13, 9 points, 6 turnovers, 6 fouls. So this dude right here basically had 12. This dude had 12 turnovers, 12 bad plays. And then you wondering why your team lose the game. And just think about it. They only had 11 turnovers, and he had 6 of them. He had 6 of the 11 turnovers. Make it make sense to me. That's all I'm saying. I just feel like this. This team right here, they messed this team up, okay? And it ain't looking good for Frank Vogel. Just be real. It won't surprise me if the Phoenix Sun ownership let go of Frank Vogel. Because honestly, even without a good point guard, you all still could have put up a better fight than this. This team basically quit, honestly. Besides Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, you pretty much quit. Bradley Beal didn't want to play. Bradley Beal probably happy. Y'all know what he said? They said a report came out. He said he never been swept. If you never made the playoff, how can you be swept? So he really right, technically. So anyway, but when you look at Bradley Beal, right? Bradley Beal is a hell of a player. Was when he's healthy. But Bradley Beal ain't been healthy for years. So why bring him in when you know that you need to maximize all Kevin Durant's years? Kevin Durant probably got a few more years left. You need to maximize those years. So why bring in somebody that's injury prone? You should have kept, if you want to keep an injury prone point guard, you should have just kept Chris Paul. At least he knew the plays. At least he'll give you something. He's a true point guard. But it was all Ant-Man tonight. Ant-Man 40. And then you also had Karl-Anthony Towns that came alive. Okay? You had Karl-Anthony Towns that had another hell of a game. He had 28 and 10, but it was Ant-Man 49 and 6. This kid right here pretty much was dominating. He started off kind of slow. I was looking at part of the game. He was 1 for 6, and then it just started picking it up in the third quarter. They was going back to, back and forth. These two teams going back and forth. I said, you know what? I think that the Phoenix Suns could steal this game, and then the Minnesota Timberwolves will go back home and finish them off. But the Minnesota Timberwolves said, no. The Real Untouchable Podcast, Ray Diggs, you might as well pause there because we're about to finish them tonight. And then we want you to bring out the brooms. I said, you know what? I'm going to bring out the vacuum cleaners because the vacuum cleaners, they clean up a better mess. So when it came down to it, Ant-Man, he did what he did in the fourth quarter, pretty much putting his team on his back like he's done all year. And that's why they're heading on to the second round of the playoff. This team right here could easily make it to the Western Conference Finals or even the NBA Finals, depending on how they bench their role players. McDaniels came out there and had another great game, 18 points. And Rudy Gobert didn't even have a good game. He only had 9 and 5 rebounds. And they got a few points from the bench. The bench played a pretty good game, but in the end, they didn't really need that bench to play because Ant-Man, with the 40 that he had, that right there pretty much put the icing on the cake. And that's why this team is heading on. And like I said, the ownership for the Phoenix Suns need to take accountability. You don't have to fire Frank Vogel. Is he the reason why this team lost? No. You all are, because you all panicked and thought that you all needed Bradley Beal when you really didn't need him. Okay? Like, you could have went out there and you could have spread his money. And honestly, when I say that Tobias Harris, earlier in the show, I said that Tobias Harris robbed the bank. Guess who was his partner? Guess who his partner was when he was robbing the bank? Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal was his partner, Tobias Harris' partner, as they was robbing the bank together. Both of them went inside the bank, took about 3 bags out the bank, and they came out, and guess what? Tobias Harris was the driver of the money truck, and guess who his passenger was? His right-hand man was. It was, guess what? That guy, Bradley Beal. Tobias Harris was driving. Bradley Beal was the passenger in the money truck. That's how them boys robbed the bank. Okay? With 2 of the worst contracts in NBA history. Gotta be Bradley Beal and Tobias Harris. Gotta be. Because they both basically giving you nothing. Especially when it really matters. Which is now. It's the playoffs. It really matters. So, hey, we won't have to worry about talking about the Phoenix Suns, but I will come on here tomorrow and I want to discuss what's next for the Phoenix Suns. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. What's next for their big three? Will they break this big three up? What would the Phoenix Suns ownership do? Will they fire Frank Vogel, bring him back? But if you fire him, who you bring in? I mean, you probably should have kept Monty Williams. Let's just be real. Monty Williams really deserved a chance with this team right here. And honestly, I feel that Monty Williams get this team probably a little further along than the first round. That's just my opinion. And I ain't saying it because he's a brother, but I'm just feeling like he had a chemistry with this team. And why fire him and bring in somebody new? And then you bring in an offensive player that don't play no defense. When I say that Bradley Beal don't play no defense, he don't play no defense. He don't sit down in the defensive stand. He do absolutely nothing. And that's why Ant-Man was lighting him up, dunking, driving, passing him, dunking on Kevin Durant. And I'm just, like I said, I feel bad for Kevin Durant. But hey, y'all let me know what y'all think about this segment. Let me know what y'all think about all these games. The New York, Philadelphia game, the LA Clippers, Dallas Mavericks game, the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Indiana Pacers, and the Minnesota Timberwolves sweeping the Phoenix Suns. And like I said, we bringing out we bringing out the vacuum cleaners for them. The vacuums will be coming out for the Phoenix Sun. And guess what? Like Charles Barkley said, we not sending y'all to Cancun. We sending y'all ass to Galveston, Texas. You go down there and go to the beach. You can either go there or you can go to Biloxi, Mississippi. You go to either one of those beaches right there. You will not go to Cancun if you don't win no games. I can't let that happen. But hey, until next time, man, y'all have a great week, man. Make sure y'all be safe. Make sure y'all work hard. Keep doing what y'all do. Hey, until next time, make sure y'all tune in for the next segment of the Real Untouchable Podcast. Also, before I get off, make sure y'all hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the share button. And also go to the YouTube channel, the Real Untouchable Podcast, Ray Diggs, and like the YouTube channel. Subscribe to it, okay? All right, y'all. Peace.